Hi, it's Jeff Pulver, and welcome to Jeff's Place, a very special edition of Jeff's Place, where we're having our very first songwriters in the round. And I am grateful to the artists that are joining us today, as well as the audience, and really all the support that we're getting from people from around the world. I just want to give a shout out to some of the people in the audience who have been so kind to my family. About a month ago, we lost my sister and I lost our mom. Actually, my two sisters are here, and the amount of love and email and energetic support's been overwhelming. And I am quite grateful, and I speak on behalf of my family, saying thank you. And it was feeling that positive energy and realizing the power of music that inspired me to want to do this songwriters in the round and really look at the creative process of music. For those of you not familiar with the format, what we're going to do is we'll have four artists joining us today, and they'll be coming on stage, and we're going be going around in a circle. Each artist performing, sharing their processes of creativity. Perhaps each of the artists will talk to each other while that happens. I will be in the background as much as possible. And But if you have questions about the songwriting process for a particular artist or for the group as a whole, feel free to put it in the chat. Lauren will also be, or Harry will be putting the social media information and all the other details for each of the artists during the show today. Um, and We'll see how this goes. This is an experiment in the sense that I've never done this before in this format, and so we will evolve this. But I'd like to bring welcome each of the artists to our stage. So Emily, please join us, and just put Lauren's gonna see how this works. Hi, hello, good morning to you. How are you doing
Hey,
today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well. So to help just set the stage for the chance there's someone here who doesn't know you, could you share a little bit about where you're from and I guess how you got started in music?
Sure. I'm Emily. For those of you who don't know me, I am coming at you from Eugene, Oregon. That's where I grew up. And yeah, I'm a singer songwriter. I sing mostly like folk singer songwriter type stuff. I got started in music a long time ago through school choirs and just playing electric guitar around town. And now here I am, and I'm very happy to be back at Jeff's place.
I'm grateful to have you, and thank you for joining us. And I'd now like to welcome Aidan to the stage. Uh, we have just to frame this, Emily is on the west coast of the United States, and Aidan, good evening to you
Good
in
evening,
Ireland.
Jeff.
Could you share a little bit about yourself and your start in music, please?
Yeah, of course. Hi, guys. My name is Aidan, and I am a young Irish singer-songwriter, I suppose. I've been playing music since I was a kid, and played all sorts of different type of stuff, lots of rock music, and was in a funk band for a few years. But these days, I'm playing a lot of my own kind of singer-songwritery, blues and soul and alternative kind of music. I'm really happy to be here. Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you for joining us. And now we're heading back to North America, up to Canada, and I'd like to welcome Madison to the stage.
Hello, guys. How's it going? I'm Madison. Like Jeff said, I'm from Canada, Ontario, right around Toronto area. I've been playing music since I was very little and always had a big interest in it, and it kind of led me to this moment now. Here we are at Jeff's place, which I couldn't be more happy about. I play kind of singer songwriter esque sort of stuff, like folk pop, indie style, somewhere in that vein of things. And yeah, it's what I want to do with my life. So
Welcome and thank you for being part of our very first in the round. And I'd like to invite Colm to the stage, who's also joining us from Ireland. And good evening to you.
How are you, Jeff? Thanks so much for having me, dude.
Thank you for being here. So, for people who are not familiar with you and music, how did you get started in music?
So I studied music through the classical method in the Clondalkin School of Music, which is a town where I'm from in Dublin. Um, my experiences with performance would have began busking on Grafton Street, like so many singer-songwriters. I've been doing this since I was about, like, I started taking this seriously when I was about 19. Um, this has been my full-time thing for about 10 years now, so I'm very fortunate and delighted to be back.
Wow, well, this is amazing. And I thank each and every one of you for being here. And again, to those who are joining the audience, in between the rounds, we'll be taking questions and answers if there are any. You're not forced to ask a question, but if there's something comes up in the conversation, feel free to drop it into the chat, and we will do our best to address the questions. Lauren, if you could take me out of the spotlight, and we're going to kick off the show and ask Emily to just start and really. I guess well, first of all, everyone will be performing their own music, their own original songs, and sharing the story, the making of, and the creative process of songwriting. So, Emily, stage is yours, and thank you again for being part of this.
Oh, I'm excited. I'm kind of nervous too. So I'm gonna kick it off with an original of mine called "Only One." I put this out on streaming platforms in January, so if you want to listen to it again, you can. Um, but this one has kind of a more interesting story because I didn't really get into songwriting until probably like a year and a half ago. But the beginnings of this were started like 6 years ago now or something before
Now,
I even knew.
I will butt in and say that you happen to be going to a music school, right? You do go to Berkeley,
Yes,
right?
I do. I go to Berkeley. And Berkeley's really what got me more interested in songwriting and more confident in it. So I'm very grateful for that. But before Berkeley, I was just messing around and I never really took it that seriously. But I came up with this guitar part, which I kept. All of the lyrics that I wrote back then are completely rewritten now. But yeah, so this is called Only One. Um, I feel like I wrote it about something more specific at the time, but since then it's kind of just evolved. Like, it's definitely a love song, but it's not really about anybody specific. It's honestly probably one of the more happier songs that I've ever written. I tend to not write super happy stuff, but yeah, anyway, I hope you enjoy it. New eyes lurk in the distance, but you say you only wish to see mine. Give me your love in the wake of the morning. Let me be your last start at night. Listen to my deafening silence. The words unspoken are the ones to find. You are my fears and desires combined. The days are like new beginnings. You never know what comes next. So give me a new dawn to see tomorrow where you are the only one left. Write me a verse where the words have a meaning. Oh, give me a piece of your past. last. 'Cause the truth is you're everything I have been craving. I'll give you my all so this can last. The days are like new beginnings. You never know what comes next. So give me a new dawn to see tomorrow where you are the all you are the all you are the only one left. New eyes work in the distance, but you say you only wish to see mine.
Wow, that's
Beautiful.
beautiful. Hey, Aidan, we have open mics. You actually got a few applause. This is nice.
Yeah, it's fun.
So when you sing that song, what does it feel like to you when you share that?
Um, Honestly, it still kind of surprises me that it's even something that I'm sharing now. Because at the time, like I said, I wrote it or the base of it like 6 years ago, and I really hated it for a long time, and I never thought it was to be something that I would share with people. So it's exciting to me that now I'm doing that, and I've kind of rewritten it since then. But yeah, I mean, I like it. I really like. If you do want to listen to the recorded version, my friend came up with this beautiful string arrangement that she added to it, which I love. So I think that adds a lot to the song that I can't obviously play
No,
here.
I
So
heard that on iTunes. I was just, but sometimes you create work and you don't even appreciate the impact it has. But it's quite nice. Well, I thank you. I'm gonna, I guess, pass the mic over to Aidan, um, and just let you share your song and share your story.
Thanks, Jeff. That was gorgeous, Emily. Yeah, I listened to that, the recording on Spotify, and noticed the string arrangement, and I thought it was really, really powerful and lovely. Um, but yeah, it's lovely to hear the acoustic version as well. I think I will play the most recent song that I brought out, just because I'm kind of feeling it right now, and it's called Words, and it came out 2 weeks ago. Tomorrow, what's coming out? Come out. Just give us 1 sec there. Yeah, so this song is kind of let's see. I wrote it. Oh God, I can't even really remember. I think the first line of the chorus was kind of stuck in my head, the melody, and thought, oh, that's kind of nice. And what words will come out if I start singing it?
So
And
so
then
did you so you started this? You started with a chorus, not necessarily a hook.
yeah. So it was the let's see. That was in my kind of head, this bit of melody. And I was like, oh, that's kind of nice. And then the words came out then when I went to sing it, like, words are hard to hear. And then it was kind of, oh, what's a good reply to that? And it was, when they're shouted in your ear. And I guess then thinking about those two sentences and what they mean kind of put me on a bit of a mental rant to write the rest of the song, which is kind of often how I do it. You know, a sentence occurs to me, and then that'll be a starting point, and I kind of
How
go
much
off from
time
there.
did it take for this to coalesce to become a song for you?
Maybe a day. I honestly can't remember this one too well, but I think it was quite quick. It was kind of sit down for an hour, and I had it 80% done, and then came back to it later on or the next day and kind of finished it. And
Wow.
I had this suspicion that I was stealing it from somewhere because it felt like this is somebody else's song or something.
Isn't
So
that
I'm still
funny?
not
Like
sure.
when you get those words and you think they're not your words, but you're channeling those words, like, and that's like, but they become your words.
Yeah. I hope that's the case. I hope it's not like I was listening to the radio and I literally stole somebody's song, but we'll find out anyway. Okay. People think that they can change the world with things they say. If they paid attention, they would see it doesn't work that way. I am sick and tired of advice, as if you've it figured out. Don't presume that you can fix a problem by opening your mouth. Words are hard to hear when they're shouted in your ear. I will not obey anything you say. If you put half the time into living your life that you put into living mine, you might be doing better off, and I bet I do just fine. But we'll never figure out, if you don't close your mouth, what you could have learned. And the knowledge that I take from making mistakes is knowledge that I've earned, that I've earned. Oh, 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 oh. Gossip finds its way into our lives, infectious as it grows. Next thing we're talking about someone that we don't even know. Endless, pointless criticism is sure to ensue. I'd rather cut my tongue from my head than talk about this with you. Words can ruin you when they're spiteful or untrue. Think before you speak, then turn the other cheek. If you put half the time into living your life that you put into living mine, you might be doing better off, and I bet I do just fine. But we'll never figure out, if you don't close your mouth, what you could have learned. And the knowledge that I take from making mistakes is knowledge that I've earned, that I've earned. Oh, 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 oh. Words are hard to hear when they're shouted in your ear.
Wow, that was that was great.
Thanks, Jeff. Cheers.
So did you realize you were writing a song about gossip?
No, I think that came a little bit after, maybe. So I think the first verse is a little bit more like, you know, do you ever in one of those moods where you're kind of just in your head and you just feel like everybody around you is just talking and talking and talking, and
Oh
it's,
yeah.
they're not really getting anywhere and they're just wasting their breath, and they could just do is be, you know, slowing down for a second. So that's kind of more what the first verse is about. The second verse then is more, you know, you need to watch that your words aren't negative and the gossip thing and stuff. And
No,
yeah,
it was brilliant. I like the construction, the songwriting, and just the progression of it, and listening to you play it live like this, it's very impactful. So
thank you. Thanks,
thank you.
guys.
And I'd still encourage, if you have questions about from our artists, their songwriting processes, or like to have questions asked in between the rounds, just feel free to drop it in the chat. Madison, I'm gonna hand it over to you.
Hi, Jeff.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. That was an amazing first two songs. It's like it makes me nervous trying to follow up with that because you guys are just so talented, and both those songs were really, really amazing. I'm really excited to be sharing the stage. This is really cool. The song that I'm gonna play, keeping in the same vein of like songs that we've released or like the most recent of releases, I'm gonna do my song "Too Nice." And this song, I started writing it after my friend told me I was ranting to her because I had someone in my life that kept trying to slither their way back in, and there was no place for them anymore. But I didn't really have the guts to just say, "Hey, I don't want you around. Can you please
So she
please
called you out for
leave?"
being too nice.
Yeah, pretty much. She's like, just get rid of it or write a song about it. Do what you gotta do. And I was like, well, I'll write a song about it and probably won't follow my own advice, but I wrote a song about it, and it's a friendly reminder to don't be too nice when you feel like you don't need to be too nice. You don't have to play that up for the people that don't deserve it. So, this is Too Nice. It would be nice to sit down and talk, you in front of me with no walls up. Would I ask you what's new or how you've been? Rather skip the pleasantries, cut to the end. Why have you been popping up? Why won't you just stop cutting into my life like some parasite? I'm finally happy, then you decide to strike. I was too nice then. I'm probably too nice now. I'm asking you to leave without knowing how. I used to dream of letting you know that I'm doing well. It probably wouldn't matter 'cause you could never tell. You messed me up, but it was over your head. Put a pretty good mask on while you fled to someone new. I don't want you cutting into my life like some parasite. I'm finally happy, then you decide to strike. I was too nice then. I'm probably too nice now. I'm asking you to leave without knowing how. It's a lack of perception on your part. It's you wondering whether we could restart. The answer is no, my answer is go. You lost the right to get to know me. You're cutting into my life like some parasite. I'm finally happy, then you decide to strike. I was too nice then. I won't be too nice now. I was too nice then. I won't be too nice now. That was too nice.
That was great.
Thank you so much.
So do you use that as a way to protect yourself now, or your friends, as a shield? Do you ever
To a
send it to people?
degree. To a degree. I think someone mentioned something to me a while back, and they were like, "Do you think writing music is a way to like push back some of those feelings that you're currently feeling?" And it's kind of sat with me a little bit because people are like, "Oh, writing music is such an outlet," and it is. It's such a huge outlet. But I feel like to a degree when I wrote Too Nice, I got those emotions out, but I still didn't follow my own advice. I didn't.
Still, even after you did the song, you still didn't follow your own
No,
advice?
no, I didn't. I just wrote the song. And I think about sending the person I wrote the song about. I think about sending the song to them, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to I don't want to ask for that to come back to me to some degree.
So when you wrote the song, did you start with you started with Too Nice and then you built the song around that, the hook?
I think I kind of started off with the idea that like it'd be nice to like talk to this person and get all the emotions out of the way, but I don't want to open that door up, and it's not necessary, and I feel like it would have been giving
Yeah.
them the attention that they seeked. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to give that to them. Instead, I'll write a song entirely
was
about
great.
them. But yeah, no, it was just a way to be like, they don't really deserve it. They deserve to hear that they're not worth my time, but they don't even deserve that much.
But it is a good reminder that self-love is very important, particularly these days, to remember to love ourselves, to take care of ourselves, to create that energetic distance. And even if you might not have taken your own advice in the specific inspiration
Instance.
for the song, the idea of self-love, I think, is never amplified enough, and that we often are in a position where we need to find that way to give ourselves that space. So in some ways, you're Too Nice is sort of very much a reminder that we all need
Well,
to stop
that's
being
what
too
it's
nice to
there
others,
for.
and we need to love ourselves too. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely.
thank you. That was great.
Thank you.
Colm, we'll turn the circle over to you.
Madison, that was a gorgeous song, and like what you said, it is quite intimidating when I'm following three brilliant songs. So, go easy on me, guys.
So how are you doing?
Good, not too bad, not too bad. I think the song that I'm going to start with is it's a song called All I Ever Think About, and I kind of come from the Randy Newman school of songwriting, where I feel like songwriters should have the same latitude as a short story writer. We still don't have it, and musically, I think when people describe what they do as like, oh, it's very singer songwritery, I think they tend to immediately cut off a load of different musical nuances. Like, I'm a huge fan of ragtime and bluegrass, and like a couple of months ago, you had Charlie McGettigan on and myself, and we were talking about songs that we wrote that were heavily influenced by the music of the 1920s. And I think like maybe that 2/4 halftime shuffle thing is maybe too much of a default for me sometimes. But I feel like as a singer songwriter, that's where I go to first. And I have to be really deliberate not to start going. You see what I mean? That type
Yeah,
of thing.
sure.
That's sort of ragtimey bluesy stuff. But this particular song is sort of in that line of things. And John Prine had a brilliant line that he never did anything with. It was in sort of a book of collected lyrics, and it was, "There's something up my chimney and it sure ain't Santa Claus." And I always thought that was really funny. And there's a
Yeah.
corresponding to that, there's a line in the second verse. There's no oil in my engine and there's no Santa in my sleigh, and a dark cloud's always raining on my graduation day, and my pillow tastes like all the dreams that I let slip away, and all I ever think about is you. So anyway, I'll play it for you
Whoa.
and give you a little taste. There's, whoops. It's a troubled mind that's turning every hour, every day, and a weary heart that trembles till each tear gets wiped away, and the notion that I'll be the reason you come back to stay, because all I ever think about is you. There's no oil in my engine, and there's no Santa in my sleigh, and a dark cloud's always raining on my graduation day, and my pillow tastes like all the dreams that I let slip away, and all I ever think about is you. Lemonade and wine, chocolate-covered Valentine, a mistletoe with no one down below. We'll be right as rain, into the bark I'll carve your name. Just say you'll be my angel, buried in the snow. I never count my eggs until my belly starts to ache, and all my skeletons will dance until the ceiling starts to break. It's such a drag to sleep alone, so each night I lie awake, because all I ever think about is you. All I ever think about is you. All I ever think about is you.
Wow, that was really nice. And wow,
Thanks, dude. Thanks so much.
wow. So like, how does that make you feel when you perform that now?
Yeah, like it's a song that I love to play because it's, although the sentiment is a little bit soppy, I won't say soppy, but like it's in the line of I love doo-wop, you know, and I love some
Yeah.
of the sentiments in doo-wop, like Smokey Robinson has a gorgeous song, I'll try something new. And it's like, well, if this won't win your heart and if this doesn't do it and this doesn't do it, I'll try something new. And I love those simple sentiment songs, but I'm also a huge fan of bluegrass and ragtime and 1920s and 30s blues. So I like to take a sentiment that could very easily just be done over like a... Nothing wrong with that. That's totally
Right.
fine. But I like taking two stark contrasts, which is something which is basically like I'm not always the narrator in my songs. Sometimes it's somebody who's saying, you know, it's a troubled mind that's turning every hour, every day, and a weary heart that trembles till each tear gets wiped away. And the notion that I'll be the reason you come back to stay because all I ever think about is you. And I think everybody's been in that place where they're like, you shouldn't try and push something if it isn't working. But is there anything I can do to make this easier, make it happen? And yeah, I think that's where that song comes from.
Well, thank you, Lauren. I think there was a question in the chat. You want to read?
Yes, there was a question in the chat, and we're going to open up our songwriters. Would you unmute them here? The question that I saw in the chat came from our friend Terrence, who actually has performed here too, because he's an amazing songwriter. This question is directed at Aidan. His question is, are you happier with the verse or the chorus? They seem quite different in vibe, but fit together brilliantly.
I think the chorus. Yeah. The verse.
Yeah, can I talk?
So.
Yeah.
Can I join it?
Sure.
I just found the verse really interesting. I love those chords and I love the vibe. And the chorus was great, but it was a little straight after the verse. It seemed to me the verse was really, really interesting and strange. I mean, I love the song, but I was just interested. It just seemed a different vibe between verse and chorus, and that's not a criticism. It fit in well, but I was just interested in what felt better to you.
I think the verse is more typical of something that I'd come up with normally, so it's kind of like
the chorus was more poppy, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of not really something that generally actually comes out of me that much. So maybe that's partly why it's novel, and I kind of like that. I don't know.
It's a great song.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thanks for asking the question, Lauren. Are there any other questions that came up?
Not that I see, but do any of the artists have questions of each other at this point?
Yeah. Do you guys want to chat for a moment before we go to the second round, or comment?
Sure. Yeah. Colm, I'd just like to say, first of all, to everybody, really beautiful songs, guys, and thanks for sharing them. But yeah, it struck me while you were playing your song, Colm, that it had quite a classic feel. But your vocal, the way you sing, your technique is really kind of has something very modern about it in a really nice way. Like it's and so the music had maybe more of a sentimental attachment, and the vocal was really kind of brought it in. I was like, this is definitely a modern piece of music by the way you were singing it. It was a lovely contrast, and then when you said that afterwards about taking two contrasting things, it kind of made a lot of sense. So that really comes through.
Thanks so much, dude. Yeah, I mean, it's weird because I thought you were going to tear my vocal apart, and
No,
I
no,
was like,
we're
well,
here to be kind,
you
not
would be
cruel.
totally within your rights to, because I don't like when I describe what I do as like singer songwriter stuff. Um, that's really where the emphasis is. It's on the songs. And it's not that I don't pay any attention to my vocal or any of that kind of stuff, but certainly the hard emphasis for me would always, like, I'm one of those who sits down at the desk most days and knocks out a couple of tunes, and I'll set myself a task. Like, there's a line in the last verse of that song. All my skeletons will dance until the ceiling starts to break. And that's partly like the whole idea of people with skeletons in the closet. But really, it comes from, if you remember the big chicken, Foghorn Leghorn from the Warner Brothers cartoons, and he says, I was just channel surfing one night, and he came on and he says, they're making more noise up there than a bunch of skeletons on a hot tin roof having a party. And I just like that image of like skeletons rattling on a hot tin roof. And so it's like, I there's a question that came in there. Colm, who's your song about? Are you still pining after the subject? It's not really about anybody. It's kind of like what Emily said. I don't know if I don't think I was thinking of someone specifically. There was a lot of disjointed images, and I felt like trying to find a way that I could piece them all together. But thanks, Aidan. Thanks for the compliments. Very kind of you.
Here, here. Yeah, no problem. That sounds very familiar as well. It's people are always like, "What's that song about?" I'm like, to be honest, pretty much every word came from a different day or a different source in my head. It's hard to concisely say this is what it's about. It's always comes from so many different directions.
Do any of you have rituals like when you know you're going to sit down and write a song? Is there a process or a place you go to write these songs, or do they like or have you developed or have certain techniques to share with other singer songwriters that are here, maybe as a way to inspire them to capture their moments?
Um, I know for me, I don't really have anything super specific, but I tend to kind of just write everything all at once. Like when I'm going, I'll try to come up with lyrics and music at the same time. And um, but one thing I have noticed is I'm pretty impatient. So I'll come up with something and it'll be like a verse or whatever. And if I like that and I'll try to come up with more. And if I can't think of anything, then I'll be like, okay, I'm just gonna put that aside for now, and then I'll come back to it later. I like don't sit down and devote like hours at a time,
But
which I think
are
sometimes
you
that works, but
are you more words driven or melody driven?
probably melody. I think melody tends to come quicker for me than words do. Sometimes I get stuck on words quite often.
And do any of you have that guilty feeling that, gee, these words sound so great, there must be someone else's, and you don't realize they're unique and they're yours? Yeah, maybe, sort of, because because each of you are poets, right? And you each are creating the word flow is just wonderful, and it's magical, and how it comes, right? Because when you're in flow, you have that ability to just capture those moments, and it's just it's hard, not to feel something, but you were all gifted and blessed with words and melody, and to be able to bring it together is just really powerful. Um, well, I guess I'll give this back to Emily for round two. And by the way, I hope you're having fun, as much fun as I am. I thank you all for being part of this, both the audience and the our artists here. I just wanted to just share my gratitude and say thank you, really, because while there's a lot going on, it's nice to have a safe place to come and to share magic and to hopefully uplift the people here and to also have a little bit of fun. I think we don't often allow ourselves the times to actually appreciate those moments, but I thank you for making Thursdays very special. Um, Stage is back to you, Emily.
Thank you. Yeah, that was really fun. I loved hearing everyone's stuff. This one is probably the one I'm most nervous to do. It's my most recent one that I'm gonna play. That I've written. I wrote it like maybe a month and a half ago or so, and I tend to pretty much just write about like relationships and like relationships that I have with other people, whether that's romantic or not. Sometimes I write
Do the
about.
people you're having these romances with know you're right? They're a subject of your songs.
No, definitely not. um, no, and like this one, so this one's like kind of about a specific person, but it's also just about like this mindset that I get in where, unfortunately, I sometimes I think that I'm like interested in somebody, and then I kind of realize a little too late that I'm actually maybe not that interested in them, or like maybe I'm just not ready for something at the moment, but I always realize that at like a bad time. So that's kind of what this is about, I guess, is I don't really understand why that happens and I wish it didn't, but it just does. So anyway, this is I don't really have a title for this yet either. But
Maybe you could, maybe today people could suggest a title for your song. Those
yeah,
around or those listening right now.
absolutely. Also, I got the Ethernet hooked up, so hopefully there won't be any more cutting out
Thank
this
you so
round.
much. Yes, Ethernet, direct Ethernet works very well.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Last night I drove past your parents' house, saw your car parked with the windows down. It was well out of my way, but I just had to see if you were still around. Try to be honest with me, and I'll be honest too. You know, the more you ignore me, the more I wanna hold you in my arms. But the second that you start to adore me, we could never be far enough apart. It's a delusion, I think. Never wanting to be loved. You could give me everything, but it isn't good enough. Good enough. Enough. I still wish I could see you sometimes, and we'd talk about the shitty things we've done. We can compare and contrast all you like. You know I'd beat you 100 to 1. I'm sorry for the things that I said. I don't know if they were true. I wish that I could take it all back. The damage I dealt to you.
Yeah. Wow. That was beautiful. And I was just reading the comments, Emily. Wow. Um,
Thanks.
let's see. Suggestions. Let's see. Better than good enough. Good enough. Isn't good enough. Um, Then there was okay, yeah. Then yes, so our friend Joyce says she has the voice of an iconic angel,
I
a
love
little
that.
bit
That's
Joni
so
Mitchell.
nice.
Yes. Um,
Yeah, I love all those. That's kind of what where I was heading, was in the good enough range, maybe just enough. I don't know. We'll see. I like all those suggestions though, so thank you
but
so
I
much.
will put our friends in the round on the spot for a moment and say, hey, you're here. You just heard this. Do you have any suggestions for titles?
Yes, I think enough definitely is
Cool.
a really good title. Personally, that's what I was thinking because it's like kind of seems like it's you're saying like enough is enough, and that's kind of the scene it sets for the song. But then it ends
Totally.
up being used in the context of like good enough. So I thought that would have been a nice title personally.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I
I
would probably. Sorry,
no,
I
you're
would
good.
probably agree with that. I just wanted to say there was a line in there about this something about adoring them. It was like in the first verse, and that was such a beautiful line. I heard it, and I was like, oh, my heart
Thank you.
breaks.
Thanks.
Beautiful.
Thanks.
There, Jennifer Barrett actually posted a really cool one, 100 to 1. I thought that was cool because you have a line in there. At one point, I beat you 100 to 1, and I love where um, sometimes the title of the song isn't quite as obvious as maybe the lyrical
Totally.
hook that comes up. But a gorgeous song, Emily, absolutely
Thank
beautiful.
you. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you all. See, this is beautiful. I guess Aiden, I'm gonna head over to you.
Cool.
And
Yeah,
I hope you're having. I really do hope the four of you are having as much fun as we in the audience are
I'm
having.
having a lot of fun. This is really, really fun. Thanks everybody for being so kind and providing such gorgeous music to listen to and play and talk about. This is lovely. Sorry, it's on me. I was going to say, just something that came into my head as soon as all the mics went off was Madison. Your song, yeah, kind of hit me. Something I've been thinking about a lot lately is like being nice. You know, it's very. It's kind of. I know this is a bit off topic because this is from last round, but I want to say it. Being nice is something that's put. It's kind of been made into a virtue, I suppose, in this day and age. But I think there's kind of quite a distinction between being nice and being kind, and they're two different things. And sometimes our actions and how we behave correlates more with being kind, and sometimes being nice maybe is something else, or it's more surface or something.
That's a really good way to put that. Yeah, I haven't thought about that, but that's very like almost profound in a way. In a way, like yeah, I haven't thought of it like that before. Yeah.
Lovely. Yeah, it just came to mind, but thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a beautiful song. Thanks so much for sharing it.
Thanks for liking it.
No problem. I'm going to do, I think, a bit of a random one. I really have very little idea what it's about, but it's a little bit kind of funky and soul-y.
Wait, random, but you created it.
Yes, randomly generated by my brain. No, not randomly generated. But yeah, I suppose what's it influenced by? A little bit by Jeff Buckley, I think. And also maybe some like soul singers, maybe like Sam Cooke or Bill Withers or something. I used to play in a funk and jazz and soul and hip hop band called Regroovination, and we did lots of, with them I came up with lots of kind of soul hooks and rapped a bit as well and played lead guitar. And that was a really fun time. And this is kind of one of the songs that I think has some of those more bluesy soul melodies with lots of blue notes and all that in it. And this song is called Wardrobes and Dressers. And you can listen to it and tell me what you think it's about, because I'm very interested to know. He had to get up and move instead of feeling sorry for himself. I guess he still had something to prove, not that different from anyone else. But wardrobes and dressers hide an empty room pretty well to the naked eye. But look under the things and you will find a tomb for white walls in which he will die. Oh, oh. She had to change her name. She spent too long on the one she had. She used to see it as a game. Now she just sees it as a fight. But stories and posts hide a lonely hat pretty well to the naked eye. Echoes of ghosts sharing pretty art. Fill her head and repeat her favorite line. Oh, oh, I. Whoa, whoa, I. Whoa, whoa, I. Whoa, oh. So now you ask me for a story, and I ask you what kind. You say as long as there's a villain that really you don't mind. But goodies and bodies hide the truth in life. There's a lesson I'll tell you for free, but everyone prefers when it's simplified. Everyone, it seems, except for me. Yeah, yeah. Wardrobes and dresses hide in empty rooms pretty well to the naked eye. Oh, look under the things and you will find my tomb for white walls in which I will die. Oh.
Wow.
Thank you, guys.
Fairly intense bluesy song with interesting hooks. And Terrence says it's his favorite song of yours. He just loves it. And,
Thanks, Terrence.
Wow. So you really want us to guess what it's about?
No, I don't know. You can if you want. I was just saying, like, I find it hard to kind of explain or introduce what it's about.
Yeah,
maybe a bit of a
I would
look
like
into
to
my
understand
psyche.
the metaphors of particularly of those wardrobes and dressers for you.
I think it's probably like something to do with minimalism and being like, you can fill your room with as many things as you want, but at the end of the day, it's kind of just still a room, and it doesn't really matter the things that you own or where you are. We're all going to die, and we're all equal in the end, or whatever. I don't know, that kind of thing.
So you're going down the sad song route, okay?
I think that's what that line is maybe going on. I don't think it's sad actually that we're all
No, it's true.
equal in the end. I think it's a happy thought. I think sometimes we try to make ourselves more than human by with like riches or with possessions or whatever. So it's kind of about that. It's it's actually on the album which I'm bringing out tomorrow. If anybody wants to hear that version of it, it's kind of more of funk, soul version with full band and that. So you can catch that tomorrow.
But there's really nice intimacy of the way you delivered it right now.
Thanks.
That it
Jeff.
almost takes on a different meaning when you don't have the band behind you, where it's just your voice and the way it's, the energy that you're sharing, a very bluesy, soulful approach to those words. It's almost more impact. I'm sure the produced version on your album is amazing, but I'm pretty much in awe of the raw acoustic performances, because in some ways the texture can be much more impactful than something that's highly produced.
Yeah, I hear that. And also it in this version, like the first verse and chorus are kind of free time, so I'm not actually like I'm pushing and pulling the rhythm a lot
No,
to fit
I
with how I'm singing it, which is kind of quite nice. It puts way more emphasis on what's happening in the lyrics.
a fun fact, Aidan. Years ago, I saw Ray Charles in concert. I fell asleep because his melodies were so soothing and intense that I probably spent about 20 minutes sleeping to just the blues and the soulfulness of his song. And there was a part of what you were doing that brought me back to that Ray Charles concert. Not to fall asleep, but there was something really special energetically that was being co-created by you and the world. And so it just brought me there. So I want to
Thanks so much.
thank
I
you for
really
that.
it means a lot, Jeff. Thanks.
But anyone else like to chime in? No? Yes, maybe? Well, thank you. And of course, questions you always put in the chat. I guess we'll head over back to Madison. And that was beautiful, Aidan.
Yeah, that song was really, really fantastic. And I agree in the way that it's not really sad thinking about, the fact that we all end up the same. I think the more sad idea is when you surround yourself with things instead of people and memories, and you're so focused in on what you're surrounding yourself with materialistically. That's when you get kind of like a sad feeling for that song. But being equal in the end and knowing that those things don't matter when it comes down to it, it's a comforting thought to some degree as well. For sure. I like that song a lot. So my next song, so the only two songs that I really have written about, I've got a couple songs written about other people, but the ones that I'm going to play today, coincidentally, this one is written about the same person that Too Nice was written about, but a very different vibe to the song. This is a love song, so that kind of gives you
Was this the before or the after?
Oh, this is definitely before. Absolutely. It was written before I knew a lot of other things about this said person, and it shows in the lyrics, but it's still a great song, and that's what I like looking back on, is the fact that a really solid love song came out of that anyways, and then a really sassy one afterwards, so I give thanks for that anyways. This is Got This Way, and I hope you like it. You keep me thinking on my toes. How do you always seem to know which songs I wanna hear on the radio? Who are you? Where did you come from? All the places you'll go. You make me wanna try new things. I'm like a puppet that lost its strings, but you caught me while I was falling. Who are you? Where did you come from? Don't want you to go, but you got this way that makes me feel like I'm waves on the water, and it's so surreal. Never had this before, and I'm happy to stay if you're wanting more. I'm sure these words have been said and sung before, but you're stuck in my head. You're like my favorite book that I've already read, and it never gets old. Always something new to love and to hold, but you got this way that makes like I'm waves on the water, and it's so surreal. Never had this before, and I'm happy to stay if you're wanting more smiles for a while, maybe more laughs. Could you handle that? Got this way that makes me feel like I'm waves on the water, and it's so surreal. Never had this before, and I'm happy to stay if you're wanting more. And you got this smile on your face, it takes me to a whole brand new place. Take me there if you like, 'cause I think that this feels pretty right. Who are you? Who are you? Got this way that makes me feel like I'm living in a made-up world, and it's real.
Absolutely beautiful.
Thanks, guys.
That's
Thank you so
great.
much.
So when you were so this song about this person, were you were you writing this while you were with him, or
Yes.
Oh my
While
God.
I was with them, and lots of different feelings. It was like my first time being in a like what I would consider a real relationship, and it's a lot of new feelings. And I figured, you know what, lots of new feelings normally equals a song, and I wrote it and I released it after it had gone downhill, which is kind of funny. But
Yeah.
I did reach out and I was like, hey, I know I wrote this song about you. I just like it's gonna be all over social media, just so you know, so you're not like bombarded by it. And he pretty much responded with, cool, living my best life. You
Oh.
know, actually he didn't even say Merry Christmas. This is right around Christmas. And he's like, cool, thanks for letting me know. And I was like, oh, that stung. And then a couple years later, he started trying to like slide in the DMs, if you will. And I was not for it. But then Too Nice came out, and I don't think he'd know it was about him, but I mean, if he ever ends up hearing this conversation somehow, surprise.
You never know. I mean, but at the same time, so and from a creative perspective, what came, where how did you build the song together?
Which song? This one?
Yeah,
The one that I
yeah.
just played?
Yeah.
It was in summertime, and I was spending a lot of time like at the water, at the lake, and everything with said person, and it was just the first feelings of like a wave of like first feelings of love and everything washing over, and that's why it kind of like got this way that makes me feel like I'm waves on the
No,
water.
it's beautiful lyrics. I mean,
Thank you.
I question the time you ever should date a songwriter.
Oops. I already am currently. So
Good for
that's
you.
funny.
To imagine the
Thank
music
you.
from both sides on that.
It's a fun time, and would not change it at all currently.
That's
so-
amazing. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Anyone else like to jump in? You should, Aidan. I think you got. I think you have the mic. Yes.
Yeah, that is a beautiful song, Maddie.
Thank
I don't
you.
have much else to say. Just such a nice feeling from it. It's
Thank
gorgeous.
you so much. Appreciate it.
It felt like summer. It had like
Yeah.
a really nice upbeat vibe to it. A really positive one.
That's what I was going for, so that's really good to hear.
Wow. All right. I think we'll head over to Colm.
Gorgeous song, Madison. Absolutely beautiful, and it did have that kind of airy summer vibe too, with a very deep, meaningful lyric behind it, which was a gorgeous coupling.
So, how you doing there, sir?
Pretty good, pretty good. So I think the next one that I'm going to do for you kind of came out of an exercise in songwriting. So I think for something like this, it's a perfect one to play. I heard Elton John say before, when you can't write anything, write a hymn, because it's very easy to take the structure of something like uh, "How great thou art" or something like that, but something that has not an overly familiar structure, but at least something that the ear suggests where it's to move to. And I would apply the same context with writing a lullaby or a nursery rhyme or something like that. And this came out of that idea. So this song is it's the first song on my debut album, A Voice for the Urban Darlings, and it's called Bye Bye Little Bird. And I think straight
I will
away,
chirp it and say that is a beautiful album.
thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it, brother. Um, so yeah, I'll play this for you, and you'll probably see what I mean about the nursery rhyme etiquette, I suppose. Bye, 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 little bird. And on account of all the wrong things that you've heard, there's nothing I can do or say to try to make you stay. So it's bye, 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 little bird. Bye, 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 little bird. You're now sailing toward the mountains that you preferred. Go forth, ah, but think of me. Be everything you long to be. And bye, 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 little bird. To know there's someone to fly home to has surely made a man of me. But now my heart is a shipless ocean, from thoughts of one I'll never see. Bye, 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 little bird. Although the reasons for our parting are absurd, to the one you love one day, I hope they never have to say bye, 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 little bird. Bye, 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 little bird.
Wow, wow, I was absolutely. It's beautiful construction, wonderful story. It is a lullaby. It is it's just a very comforting, feel good, and for any age really, and it's just a beautiful expression, Colin. Wow,
Thanks so much, Jeff. Appreciate it, brother.
it is sweet, right? And it's just it is soothing too, and it's it's a way, like, with the nice thing about music is that, I believe we all communicate through energy, vibration, and frequency, right? It's not always
Mm,
what you say. Sometimes you can walk into a room and you can just feel that energy, and sometimes you could raise it up by certain words, certain actions. But like music like that, raises up our energy, raises us up to a higher vibration, at the same time provides comfort, and
Thanks so
it's like a
much, Jeff.
hug. It's like it's a just beautiful.
Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it, dude.
So how did you discover? I mean, besides creating it, but like, did you think a lot about the construction when you were writing that song, or it just came to you all at once?
The- I don't know what it is about the imagery of birds. Like I have more songs like Tales of a Bluebird, Flightless Bird, Hummingbird, and there's something about that imagery and that subtext of say someone having the option to fly away and doesn't take it, or someone who have the option to fly away and does, just is for me so evocative. And Bye Bye Little Bird, and for the longest time, like kind of like what Aidan was talking about earlier, I thought surely this is something already, because it had that jingly jangly type of a ring to the refrain. And Terence Blacker said here, there's an early Paul Simon feel to that song. But thanks for that, Terence. I appreciate that,
He is
brother.
right. He
I,
he is absolutely right. And if we were to go down for what its things sound like, I mean, each and every one of you have, I mean, based on my own personal biases of the music that I've listened to that I grew up with, I have, there are certain genres of both specifically just types of music and then artists that you sound like. And the thing is that each of you sound like yourselves. That's the most important part. And no matter who you may remind us of, the reality is you are you. And that the more you step into your own power and express yourself in the way that you feel comfortable, you are the artist. And one day maybe they'll be compared to you, at least in the fields. I mean, we will always be reminded of those from before,
mm,
but you are the ones on right out there right now creating the future, and together, right, you make history.
thanks, Jeff. It's very kind of you, dude.
Um, wow, Lauren, did anyone have any questions? Did you see? I wasn't looking in the comments.
Well, there were no really specific questions. Beautiful comments for everybody. But I think what is going on, if I can, okay, just watch your power, Emily. Be careful. Mom said there's a big storm.
Oh boy, sorry.
Oh boy. It seems from the audience what they're saying, and whether you're reading it or not, is that they're enjoying listening to each of you sing and to comment on each other and just being part of this sharing that's going on. So thanks, because it's amazing.
Thank you all.
Do you guys want to have anything to say to each other? We can unmute you guys. I know that there's an echo somewhere, and I'm so
I think it's
sorry.
on Aidan, it might be on Aidan's side, maybe.
Yeah, so sometimes when all the mics are open, your whatever that's
Try to
called.
fix that now. I'm gonna put some headphones on.
Oh,
Okay.
no worries. Okay, that will definitely fix it.
But this way, you guys, it's for me, who couldn't write a song if I tried and can't sing because I'm the worst. It's just awesome to listen to you, just be able to take the words and the thoughts in your brain and put it into, not only put it to music, but make the words make sense so that it echoes in my heart. I'm feeling all those things that you're all talking about. And of course I'm crying, because what else would I do? But
Lauren, we did take a songwriting class by Peter Katz, impromptu one, when we were in
you know what? That one I cried through too. So, and I didn't take his class. I was cooking, love.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
just total
Kitchen.
aside, but there are
Kitchen
years, except this past summer, Lauren and I have hosted for 5 years a summer camp for the soul.
With the help of Harry and Michelle.
And we've had...
it was just not the two of us.
There are many others who have been helpful too. But we've always... Yes, Michelle. Yes, Harry. Yes,
yes, Michelle.
Yes, Michelle.
But what I was going to say is that we've always had a guest artist with us. That we've always had... we've had someone help us with the stars and someone help us with the music.
And the art. Creativity, sister.
Oh yeah.
Lauren, please don't do this to me.
Well,
all I was getting at was what was when we have the music with us together as a group, it opens us all up. And that I believe that as much as everybody can create art, which is what my sister proved to us, because I guess it was 2 summers ago when my sister Michelle came and taught a class on creativity. Really what she showed is everyone who came was an artist, and people who had not been in arts and crafts since 2nd grade actually came and created art. And it was really beautiful for people to open up and be creative. And I also believe that maybe we don't all sing, but we all can create music. And that if we just give ourselves a chance and we take away the can'ts and drop those T's, we're unbound in what we can do. And all of you here are really reminders of how beautiful the world can be in the most positive way, the way that you create, the way you share, and the way you flow. And so I did not mean any disrespect to my sister Michelle, who taught us all how to be creative. In fact, proved. I mean, I never thought about how powerful it is to be creative and to turn on someone's creativity when they don't think they have one. Or to Lauren, I apologize. I just was trying to get to the music part. That was all. I wasn't thinking outside of that. Anyway, Emily, with all that, I'm going to turn myself off of embarrassment. But go ahead.
You did fine, brother. It's all good, honey. All good.
All right, I'm
Just
sorry.
like, we like everyone to know how awesome we work together as a team.
Okay,
Yeah, roll your eyes. It's good.
this is yours.
Thank you, Colm. That was beautiful. I love that
Thanks,
song
Emily.
so
Thanks
much.
so much.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it's really, really nice. And like my mom said, apparently we just had like an insane gust of wind where like I could feel, like I heard my house like shift
Oh, no.
slightly. Which hopefully, if I do disappear, at least you know why and that everything's fine. But
Okay,
the wind
be
is
safe.
crazy. But anyway, hopefully that won't happen. It's calmed down, I think, a little bit. But anyway, round 3, I'm
Yes.
gonna play. I'm gonna play a song I released back in September. This is called "From Now On." I wrote this a year ago. Not to get like too specific, I guess it's kind of about like meeting somebody at like a party or a gathering, and you think that maybe something could start with them. You're interested in them, and then they act like the same way, and then all of a sudden they're like, just kidding, I'm gonna go be with somebody else, or like they had someone waiting and they're like, okay, not you, I'm gonna pick them instead. And so you gotta kind of be like, okay, I'm gonna move on, I guess. It's a very scattered way of describing it, but anyway,
That hurts.
ouch. Exactly, I know, agreed, it does hurt, but you move on and now everything's fine. So anyway, that's what this is about. This is called "From Now On." I went from being no one to knowing you, all in a few hours' time. I went from loving someone to missing you, feelings I cannot unwind. A ghost from your past came out that night. I wish you would have told me it was wrong. Instead you pulled away and twisted the knife. Is this where we will be from now on? I see her pull you closer, I watch your eyes, but your gaze goes from me to her instead. She won't ever love you, I say out of spite, but your lips start to fill with regret. A ghost from your past came out that night. I wish you would have told me it was wrong. Instead you pulled away and twisted the knife. Is this where we will be from now on? I went from being no one to knowing you, but you left just as fast as you came. I went from being someone to watching you act just like nothing had changed. I'm tired of staying the same.
Wow. All right. So that sounds like a song that should have been out a long time ago. That's a classic that you're hearing live now. But oh my God. And who doesn't have those feelings? Like, wow. One day
Right.
I'll share a poem about a date that went wrong, on my part.
I would love to hear that.
But you say it so much more eloquently, and but how powerful it is, right? And the one thing I do appreciate about music, and for that matter, poetry, is that in our lives, there's some moments that are literally just moments, and there's some moments that last forever, and for better or for worse. But these are these moments, and being able to honor them and to learn from them and share them is just
Yeah.
remarkable. But wow, that was. Um, it's I do have a tendency, right, of saying that you sound like Joni Mitchell, but I have to remember you are you, right? And you and Madison have certain voice characteristics that are similar in terms of how you perform. But oh my God, both of you are in your own light, your own space, and so I takes a lot of strength for me not to compare really, but to really honor and appreciate each of you because it's just really special stuff. But if you would have told me that was a classic song from the '60s, I would have said, "Wow." But it happens
Wow.
to be
Thank
new,
you.
right? And so that's the special stuff. It's that you know it's not that that every song just needs three chords, right? It's that it takes a person to experience something to capture it, and then the strength to write it down, and,
Totally.
right? And it's wow. But guys, you want to jump in? Any comments on? Oh, I, I actually, my friend Joyce wrote something, and she wrote, Joyce writes, writing the lyrics is like taking those very, very personal moments and making them universal. That song does sound classic, as do many of the songs. Um, yeah, but it's like I was just, I was listening to your story, but relating it to my own, and I was like, yeah,
I like
Yeah.
noticed too. I feel like I have such a hard time describing what the song is about and eloquently, which I hope that the lyrics can end up doing that better. But I get very embarrassed when I try to talk about it, and it's very just like rambled and I don't know. But you get the point at least.
it rambled to you, but clear to me. I mean, I don't know, guys. Did you have trouble understanding this story?
Not at all. That was yeah, it was beautiful and concise. What you said, yeah, it didn't seem rambling at all.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I would agree. I feel like I do the same sort of thing when talking about my songs, though. There's a lot of emotions that come out, and you end up being very vulnerable when you
Yeah.
share what the song is about, and that's a very uncomfortable feeling in general, never mind sharing a whole, like, artistic outlet that you've put it towards. So I understand the
Totally.
rambling, but it didn't sound like rambling. So
Thanks.
I think Emily, one of the things there's been a lot of talk about the musical aspects to your songs, which are all gorgeous, and there's so much thought that goes into all of the chord progressions, and you're really great at setting a mood musically. But lyrically, I hear Emily Dickinson, and I don't know
Wow.
if or Sylvia Plath. There's those two that kind of strong, affronting, self-affirmed, and yet at the same time not afraid to be vulnerable quality to your lyrics. And I've heard it in all of the songs that you've played tonight, and I just think it's absolutely stunning.
Wow. Thank you so much. That's a
No
very high
problem.
compliment. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you. All right. On that high note, I want to pass over to Aidan. And we're in round three. Wow. I can't. And again, thank you all. I thank the artists, thank the audience, and really thank you all for co creating this positive energy that allows us to do this. Wow.
Sorry. Yes, and thank you so much, Jeff, Lauren, and Harry, for making it happen. It's God, it's so nice to be here. It's so nice to be kind of socializing in this sort of environment. That this is the kind of thing I would get from playing at a music session at a local pub or something. But it's been a long, long time since I've done that. So
Hey, we
it's
are
just
literally your global local. Okay.
I love it. It's good to have. It's really, really nice to have. Um, oh God, I had something there I wanted to say. Yeah, talking about Maddie, you said about, are you kind of all talking about how difficult it can be and or how uncomfortable it can be talking about your songs or explaining them. yeah, I completely empathize, and I'm really trying lately to loosen myself up a little bit, because I have no problem playing my music in general. I don't feel too nervous about it usually, but I tend to choke up a lot of the time when I'm talking or when I'm explaining, and yeah, and I think it's important. I'm trying not to take myself too seriously, because when if I watch back, I force myself to watch back videos of myself performing. I'm like, God, I come across like I'm taking myself so seriously, and I'm not usually like that in real life. So it's something I'm trying to overcome. And yeah, I totally get it. It can feel like so awkward or something sometimes, the chatter. But yeah, all we can do is do a little better each time, I guess. Song. Going to play another song that's off my album, which is coming out tomorrow, and it's called Any Other Way. And it's sort of, I think, a little bit lullaby-esque, but I don't know if, yeah, we'll see what you think. And it's definitely one of my happier, more chill songs, I think. Yeah, and I'm really happy with how the recordings come out as well. Actually, it's got some nice piano and clarinet and saxophone on it. It's kind of smooth. Yeah, it's called Any Other Way. Night has come. Time to lay your head down. On and on. Round and round. It goes. It goes. I wouldn't have it any other way. I wouldn't have it any other way. This world spins round, one big hot star, too close to see how lucky they are. But I know they wouldn't have it any other way. They wouldn't have it any other way. They wouldn't have it any other way. Come, time to lay your head down. On and on, round and round. I know it goes. I wouldn't have it any other way. Oh, I wouldn't have it any other way. I wouldn't have it I wouldn't have it any other way. I wouldn't have it I wouldn't have it any other way. I wouldn't have it I wouldn't have it any other way.
Wow, that was great. I love your blues, Aidan. That was wow. I mean, that felt so good. It was wonderful.
Thanks so much.
And
thank you, Jeff.
so what was the inspiration behind that song? That was like there had to be a story behind that.
I think it's kind of maybe comes from one of those moments where, you know, you feel like one with everything or whatever. Really just, oh, it's all good. That kind of feeling.
Yeah.
A unity, you know, a universal belonging and all
beautiful. It's just like, yeah, it was wow. I was looking for my old poem that I wrote while you were singing that to see if I could find that poem. But wow, that was a beautiful song. I was.
Thanks so much, Jeff.
And there's much love here. I want to just acknowledge and appreciate the audience that we have. You very supportive and it's just this is pretty cool. So, any of you guys want to jump in on feedback for Aidan? Yes, no, maybe.
That was beautiful. I think that's one of my favorites that I've heard you play so far. It was really,
Thank you
really
so
nice.
much, Emily. Thanks.
It was really nice. Well, thank you. All right, we're heading over to Madison for round number 3.
Hi again, everyone. Yeah, that song was beautiful, and I really like, Aidan, how you do the runs going down on your voice. Like, I don't know how to explain it, and I'm not gonna try and
it's exactly
butcher
that.
it by trying it, but it has like a really nice way of falling, and I feel like that's hard to do in a like ear-pleasing way. It's really nice how you do that, and I've noticed it on a couple songs. So, this next song that I'm gonna do, I'm most nervous for it. I haven't played it live for anyone outside of my family, really, and I'm recording it currently, so I'm really excited to share it with you guys. It's called Sweet Bitterness, and it's kind of about the feeling of not having a ton of motivation and reminiscing on when you were younger and the smallest things felt like the most exciting days, like getting ready to go for a field trip or something like that. The feeling of like just so much joy surrounding being a kid, and we don't always have that, and wanting to get back to that. So that's what this song is about. There is a fire waiting for a spark, but I don't know when it'll catch. And I am unsteady, rocking on my feet, no escape or going back to ignorance and bliss, happiness, simple as it was before all of this sweet bitterness. It opened up so much more. I would like to look at life with other eyes, so that I might find new highs that would make me wanna try. I wanna feel alive. I'm kinda reckless, also very anxious, and it's my fatal flaw. Perfection's what I crave, regardless of my skill. It ends up draining me of all. The ignorance and bliss, happiness, got me asking where, when, how we got to all of this bitterness. Wish wishing I could change them now. I would like to look at life with other eyes, so that I might find new highs that would make me wanna try. I wanna feel alive, living in the memories. The present's just too fast, forgetting what I wanted, getting caught up in the past. Ignorance and bliss, happiness. We got to all of this sweet bitterness. It opened up so much more. I would like to look at life with younger eyes, so that I might find new highs that I used to throw aside. I wanna feel alive, wanna feel alive.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow. That applies to people of any age. Wow. It's fairly intense, Madison. If your
Little
intention is to
bit,
help
yeah.
help make some of us cry, you did well.
Oh, I mean, you know what? We all need that cathartic cry every now and then. So if I can bring people towards it. I know I need it sometimes, and
No,
you
it
guys would
works.
definitely do
You
that.
got me, and because those words were echoing in my mind as you were singing them, and it's ageless. But those desires, I think, are there, no matter how old or young you may be, to go back to those
Absolutely.
moments, right? But wow, beautiful. That
Definitely.
was just beautiful.
Thank you. I was nervous about it. I literally haven't played that live for pretty much anybody. So it'll get a little bit more comfortable for me, but that definitely gave me that vulnerable feeling of like I'm kind of putting my heart out there. So I'm glad you guys liked it.
Well, I would like to believe that we are holding on to a sacred space here. It's positive energy to be where we support each other, and the vulnerability is there, but so are the words, and so are the feelings. But that was absolutely beautiful. I
Thank you
thank you
guys.
for opening and sharing. That was just wow.
Thank you.
I realize that that's the thing about, in some ways songs like that take you through time travel, because because it brings me back, may you I we're all at different ages, right, at least spiritually or physically, and wow. And so depending upon who's hearing those words, we go back to different times and different memories, but they have the
Mhm.
same similar meanings at times too. So
Absolutely. We're all
y-
connected.
you are
It's pretty
a
amazing.
beautiful magician.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Wow. And clearly you do time travel, so that's awesome.
I wish. I really do.
That was great. Wow. Thank you so much. Anybody like to jump in on this before we go to Colm? No, all right, Colm, I give you the floor. Round three. Wow. Are you having fun, by the way?
I'm having a great time. I am. I'm having a great time. And Madison, that was absolutely gorgeous. And you had absolutely no reason in the world to feel uh, vulnerable in a negative way or anything like that. It was a gorgeous song and beautifully delivered too. So I think the one I'm going to play for you now is one that I co-wrote with Charlie McGettigan. And this, to me, like a couple of years ago, I used to do a lot of writing to assignments. So I used to write music for TV commercials. Now, they wouldn't always entail lyrics, but when they did, you had to be very specific to whatever the theme was. And this song that we wrote together wasn't intended for anything, but I often felt like it would work really well on a kid's cartoon or something like that. It has, if you remember the Roger Hargreaves, Mr. Men and Little Miss books, it has that kind of playful, whimsical aspect to it, which Charlie is so good at lyrically. And we had a pretty quick turnover rate. Like he wouldn't dally with anything. If it lasted longer than 2 days, he'd be like, okay, forget about the idea. So we had to we had to go
Really?
back and forth for yeah. We never reviewed anything. It'd be like, here's an idea, done, and that's it. There was no like deliberation of what do you think about that word? Is that okay? It was the whole Allen Ginsberg idea of first thought, best thought. That's always the way we worked. So I'll give you an example of that. And this is sort of kind of in the vein of what Aidan was doing. It's a very playful, bluesy, ragtimey type thing. And this is called My Woman, She Lives in a Peppermint House. My woman, she lives in a peppermint house. She got a cat, she got a dog, she got a gingerbread mouse. Her grandpa smokes a big chocolate cigar. And she loves to play ragtime music in her bubblegum car. They say she's crazy, they say she's mad, they say she's lazy, they say she's bad. She drinks tango juice in every bar. Oh, but she loves to play ragtime music in her bubblegum car. Ragtime music takes her up to heaven. Joplin rags have always been her haven, and she been misbehaving. She wears tight dresses with roses on. She's quite impressive in her hair salon. She hangs her coat upon a shooting star. Oh, but she loves to play ragtime music in her bubblegum car. Ragtime music takes her up to heaven. Joplin rags have always been her haven, and she been misbehaving. My woman, she lives in a peppermint house. She got a cat, she got a dog, she got a gingerbread mouse. Her grandpa smokes a big chocolate cigar. Oh, but she loves to play ragtime music in her bubblegum car.
Whoa! Wow! That was terrific and fun. My goodness! Wow, that was
Thanks, Jeff.
great.
Thanks,
So that
dude. Thanks
so that was actually for a commercial. That was
No, like I was mentioning some commercial work that
yeah.
I'd done a couple of years ago, but with Charlie, we would often start off with like a lyrical idea, and I was going for, if you've ever, there's a song, it's called Vegetable Car, and it's by Joshua Radin, and I love that song, and I love the simple sentiment to it, and I was kind of going for that type of vibe, but then he brought in this sort of 1920s ragtimey type feel to
Yeah,
it, which I
no,
thought
yeah,
was
it was
gorgeous, you know.
yeah, and yeah, there's comments about the imagery and stuff, and it was just absolutely like, yeah, it's a brilliant song, and it
Thanks, Jeff.
feels good. It's a feel good song, if you will. It's just and comfortable too. It was
Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it, dude.
wow. Anybody like to jump in before I head up to Emily?
Yeah, I see when you were playing that song, Colm, I can see like bold sort of colors. I can really see a color theme to it, like pink and brown and like a cartoon you were saying. Is that a
Thanks.
Fats Waller reference as well, where you're saying she's been misbehaving?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Ain't
Yeah,
misbehaving. That is. Yeah. Fair play to
that's
you.
cool.
Well spotted. Because
Cool, man.
it actually it moves to an augmented chord, and Fats is just all about the augmented chord. So that
Yeah,
was, I
yeah.
think that was, yeah, that might have been the idea. But fair play to you.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Really
Well
good song.
spotted, man.
Wow, wow, I'm blown away. I have to say. So I'm just here in awe. And Colin, that was great. And we still have power. It looks, Emily. So you still connected. So
Yes.
starting round four. Wow. This is thank you all. This is just really special and amazing. Wow. Go ahead. Stage is back to you.
Okay, yeah, I think the wind has passed. I don't know if you heard my dog barking in the background, but it was very loud for a second there. Anyway, but Colin, that was so fun. I have that in my head. I'm sure it'll be in my head the rest of the day, and I can't wait for that. Um, this one is I'm moving away from sad finger picking for a second and more into sad just strumming normally. So that's where we're at in the show. This is I wrote this one in like a little over a year ago. I released it in June. It's the first one I've released under my name, so it has that special attachment to me. But kind of similarly to the last one, I guess, that I did. It's kind of just about being like second best in a relationship. This is actually about a friendship of mine that had a bit of a falling out. But yeah, just kind of about, you feel like you're putting in a lot of effort to something, but you don't really feel like you're getting that effort back. And so kind of just expressing that disappointment, I guess. But the friend and I are cool now. There's a lot of mutual effort going on.
So the friend knows that the song was about that moment?
No, the friend does not know.
Oh.
I'm really bad about like letting people know that songs are about them. I'm always scared of what their reaction is going to be. Maybe I should just get over that. But no, the friend does not know. But anyway, this is called Something New. Keep one eye on the door, waiting for my mind to let you in. Puzzle pieces on the floor, I can't figure out what I did for you to hurt me. Contradicting what I say, I never feel your sympathy. Build me up, lead me astray, I'll never see the change I need. La-da-da-da. La-da-da. I see myself giving the world to you. Love me until you find something new. Dissonance fills my room. You've never been inside my head. There's nothing I can do to bring you back to me again. La-da-da. La-da-da. I see myself giving the world to you. Love me until you find something new. You take until I've given it all away. You make me feel like I'm the one who changed. You make me feel like I'm the one who changed.
Yeah. Wow. the more you sing it, the more I love it, Emily. There's something absolutely magical about your words and that energy. It's just so great.
Thanks. Thank you.
I look. I actually own it on iTunes. I've bought your music,
I appreciate that so much. Thank you.
and it's just, but it's that melody, that energy, and it's I'm I was reading the comments, but I'll tell you, I've heard this before, and every time you sing it, it takes on different meaning. And I didn't realize or I forgot if you ever mentioned it came from a friendship, but oh my goodness, wow, because that applies to so many things.
Yeah, well, that's honest. I kind of did that on purpose. I talked about that she doesn't know that it's about her, and I kind of wanted to make it more vague in that way where it can be about a romantic relationship or whatever you want to interpret it as, and so that was also a part of like covering it up a little
But
bit
it's
so that
but but it's about at some level it's about having a balance, right? And basically making sure that it's not all one way, all the other way, and that you want to have a
yeah,
relationship is just that. So
totally.
for this song, like, did you spend how do you even remember how much time you spent writing this? Did it come to you all at once, or did it take
um
a bit of time?
yeah, so I wrote it, to get more specific. I mean, she's not here, so it doesn't really matter, but I had a show at school, and I was these friends told me that they were going to come and watch, and then they didn't, and I was disappointed by that. And that was like on top of like a bunch of other like random little things that had happened, that I was just kind of tired of, like I said, like a lack of effort at that point. And so that night I came home, and uh I started writing it, and then I kind of set it aside for a while, and then we went on the holiday break from school, and that's when I kind of started picking it back up again. And then I had a friend help me tweak a couple lyric things that I wasn't super sure about, and then now that's what it is. But it wasn't too much time. Like it was like two separate writing sessions, I think, that I had for it. But
Well,
yeah.
it's. I mean, I guess I'm biased because I like it. I should say, it's hard for me. And not that I'm biased that I like it. It's just that I happen to like it, and I'm always curious about the work and the effort that comes into making songs happen. There's a friend of mine, Simon Kurek, who is the co-founder of Bad Company. He did an Ask Me Anything on songwriting that we hosted back in October. And the one thing I remember that I was fascinated about was he mentioned that the song Bad Company came together in 10 minutes.
Wow.
Like literally, it took him 10 minutes, and he had the song Bad Company. And then he spoke about other songs that took years for him to write. And I never really thought about that. And it's like you listen to other songwriters, whether it's Paul McCartney, and they have different techniques, and there's that flow. And you also, because you also capture in your words, each and every one of you is the wisdom of the universe, right? Because you're sharing tales that are universal. It may be personal to you, maybe abstractions of your soul, but in many cases they really are. They apply to many things. And I just appreciate the way that there's a special magic of how you can tap into that knowledge and share it. So I'm just saying, uh, that was beautiful, though. It was absolutely beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, I think this format is really cool. I know I'm reading Emmett's comment in the chat, and I just totally agree. I think this is such a fun show, and I hope that there's more of them in the future.
Thank you. No, I had, you collectively, you were the inspiration to want to do this, and I will do this show in the future. But for me, it feels I can do this when there are people that know me as best as one could, who've been here before and played their music and done their sets, and so we can go deeper. It's hard if this was your first time ever here. I think it would be much more challenging for you to be comfortable, for anyone to be comfortable, right? So I waited patiently to bring this forward, but I will bring the format back, and I will, of course, all of you are always invited to come, and if you ever want to host, see, now I can invite you to host a songwriting circle in the round, and take my job, and and at the same time be the singer songwriter to help run it. So that's all nice. But I'm grateful to everyone for being here, for Lauren and Harry for helping to maintain the format, and for everyone in the audience for participating. And I'm learning and doing and having fun at the same time. It's a guilty pleasure. What can I tell you? But a beautiful one. And well, enough of this. I'm gonna head over to Aidan uh, and say good evening. And wow, I'm just going along with this. Are you having fun, Aidan?
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm really loving this format as well, and the whole evening. It's lovely. Emily, that song is just amazing. The melody on the chorus is really gorgeous. Like it. I think I listened to the studio version of it a couple of weeks ago. I was checking out your Spotify, and it was just like the first time you hear it, it's just like wow, really, amazing chorus. I think I will play a song which, because there's been a couple that haven't been performed much before. I'm going to play one of mine that I think maybe has never been performed outside of a couple of people in my family, and probably a handful of people have heard it. And it's called Alone. And it's kind of, I suppose, partly inspired by the view from my window of different people who live in the town, and partly, older people or people who are a bit disconnected from society. And it's a bit of a sad song, I suppose, about what it means to be alone and everything. We'll see how it goes. I haven't performed it much before, so let's feel it. It's a shame to be alone. Just ask the old man next door. He's been that way for 20 years. Says he doesn't cry anymore. Says he doesn't cry anymore. It's a shame to be alone. Just ask the single mother. He said until death do us part. Now he's gone and loves another. Now he's gone and loves another. No, I wasn't always lonely. I used to be a person just like you. And no, I know I'm not the only. There's plenty others where I'm from that I once knew. It's a shame to be alone. Just ask the foreign man. His wish to have a friend. His need to have a plan. He needs to have a plan. It's a shame to be alone, but it's part of who we are. Sometimes I think that we've evolved. Sometimes I think we've gone too far. Sometimes I know we've gone too far. But no, I know I'm not the only. I used to be a person just like you. And no, I wasn't always lonely. And there's plenty others on my street that I once knew.
Wow. Wow. Aidan, you've outdid yourself. Oh my goodness. Wow.
Thank you so much.
Much love in the chat. People were comparing you to David Gray, and yeah, but that vibe, the energy, like, oh my goodness, that was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful song.
Thanks so much, guys.
And it felt, it was just, you transported us to another place. That was.
Thank you a lot. Yeah, he's one of my favorites. He's one of my favorites, David Gray. I love him. What was I going to say? Yeah, sorry, that second chorus there was all messed up, the lyrics, because I pretty much never sang that before for people. But yeah, I'm glad you all liked it. Thanks for your feedback.
It was intense, it was raw, it was real, and it took us places, you know, and it felt, you were in the moment, you know, and you are a great storyteller, what can I tell you? It was, it just felt great. You took me away from where I was and transported me to some other spot while I was listening to that story.
Thanks so much, Jeff. Thanks for having me here.
Oh, it's an honor to have all of you here, really. Just, wow. Anybody like to jump in before I give this over to Madison? Yes, no?
I was just going to type in the chat, but really, really powerful stuff. Seriously. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you, Emily. Cheers.
Gorgeous, Aidan, absolutely gorgeous. I wonder, I saw his name mentioned in the chat at one point, but I wonder how much do you listen to people like Harry Nilsson or Randy Newman, because there's huge Newman Nilsson vibes in some of your melody lines.
Not much to Randy Newman, or much to Harry Nilsson, but I love that song. Everybody's talking. And
I'm
he
actually
wrote
friends
that, didn't he?
with Harry, with his Nielsen's old manager.
Wow.
Is that right?
And he actually may be a guest here in the future, but just saying.
Wow.
Lovely. I look forward to it if it does happen.
Yeah.
He ended up becoming manager for Joe Walsh and for actually my friend who's in Bad Company. But when I first found out he was his manager too, I was like, oh my goodness, wow. But you're
totally, Aidan. There's a couple of I mean, even in some of the obvious stuff, like Harry Nilsson, who not a lot of people know, but he wrote "Can't Live If Living Is Without You," which Mariah Carey made famous.
Yeah.
Or I don't think he wrote it. I think he actually covered it. But that melody line, there's certain things that certain nuances that you put in the chorus that just have Harry Nilsson written all over it. And I adore Nilsson's work, so that is a compliment.
Yeah, I'll check him out more. For sure.
Absolutely beautiful stuff. And thank you so much for opening your heart and soul and just being present, Aidan. Wow. Madison, it's your turn. My goodness. Wow. Number 4.
All right. Yeah, that song was really amazing, especially when you went into the second verse there and you kind of revealed that you were going through different walks of life. As soon as I heard that it went from like the old man and then the single mother, I was like completely hooked. It was like watching different stories just like run by. It was really, really cool.
Thank you so much, Madison. That means a lot.
So This song, I've played it on Jeff's Place before. It's probably my favorite song that I've written. It's called Bloom, and Dawn put in the chat earlier that I have I have to stop acting like I'm older than I am, but I feel like once I hit 18, I felt like my life was over. It was like as soon as I graduated high school, it was like, oh my gosh, I'm old. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I feel like I have to accomplish everything by the time I'm like 25, and if I don't, what's gonna happen then? I know that's not true, but that's kind of how I felt at the time, and that's kind of a way that this song kind of came to be. It was just that feeling of realizing that you're growing up, and just a lot of nostalgia, and I'm a big fan of writing about that. So this is Bloom, about the tree that I used to climb with like the neighborhood kids, and then I saw other kids from the neighborhood climbing it like 15 years down the line. So hope you like it. I'm not quite old enough to vote, but I'm allowed to drive a boat. Not quite young enough to fake asleep on the couch, but wake up in my sheets. I notice now days are way too fast. As a kid, they would never pass. I can see my memories begin to repeat in a new life, but it's not me. New kids are climbing our old tree. They're racing each other down the street. I'm leaving this home pretty soon. I'm smiling as flowers begin to bloom. Bloom, 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 bloom. Today feels like a Joni song. Lifetime of thoughts, but it's not that long. Friends of mine are beginning to change. They're already on their next page. New kids are climbing our old tree. They're racing each other down the street. And I'm leaving this home pretty soon. I'm smiling as flowers begin to bloom. Bloom, 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 bloom. As time goes by, I sit and stare, wondering what will be over there. See
go, but I will still want to know, will they be climbing our old tree? They be racing each other down the street. I'm leaving this home and it seems too soon, but it's time for me to bloom, 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 bloom.
Wow, that was absolutely beautiful.
Thank you,
I,
guys.
I no matter how often I hear that, as just absolutely a beautiful story. And
Thank you.
oh my goodness, wow, I was just absolutely Bloom is just wow. I'm
Thank you.
it's the storytelling there, the construction of the song, and the just the timelessness of it.
Thank you. Yeah, it's very important to me, and it's kind of funny. When I was talking about writing Too Nice at the beginning, I mentioned how my friend had told me I had to write a song about it to get my emotions out. And the same friend, pretty much, I think we were on call one night and we were just talking about the day, and she had said the line, "Today feels like a Joni Mitchell song," and I was like, hold on, that sounds like it needs to be in a song of mine. So then I pretty much stole that line from her and wrote a whole song based around that line pretty much, and how some of her music makes me feel and how I was feeling at the time. And I think it kind of speaks for itself. It's got a lot of influence from her in that song. So
It's just a terrific song. I loved it. And anybody like to jump in, comment? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a stunning song, Madison. Absolutely
thank you.
stunning, and like the title alone reminds me so much. I grew up in this housing estate that was shaped like a horseshoe,
Oh,
and
cool.
there were so many of us that all lived sort of in the bow of the shoe and down to the front. And my happiest earliest memories are when the cherry blossoms that were all planted around the housing estate would be in full bloom. And
Wow.
when you were singing about that, that just brought me back to quite a special time. So thank you for that.
That's really cool. That's really amazing to hear. Wow. I'm glad I could do that for you.
Aiden, you would
Very, it's very like has a reminiscent sort of feeling. It seems to have done that to kind of everybody. Like we've all gotten lost in our childhoods listening to it. It's
Yeah, I
really
see in the
gorgeous song.
comments. That's really great. That's my favorite sort of feeling when I find a song that I really like. If it evokes any sort of like nostalgia in me, I will probably like listen to that song on repeat for probably a week straight until
yeah
I
Yeah.
drain it
yeah
of all its emotion. But
yeah.
that is
that's
true.
yeah, those are my favorite kinds of songs. So I'm glad I could kind of put my emotions into my own sort of song.
Well, thank you for sharing your magic. Really, it's just beautiful. And I thank all of you for being here tonight. It's today. Hey, it's I guess it's afternoon family already, so this is good. So it's no longer morning. All right, I'm gonna head this over to Colm. You're number 4 in the round. Wow.
Well, I mean, that was absolutely stunning. And actually, both songs are the one I'm going to play and Maddie's one are both in the key of F. So maybe there'll be a little bit of musical synchronicity there. Um, I think this is probably going to be my last one too, because I got to bounce. I got to record a podcast soon that I've been putting off for the last 20 minutes because they're like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm doing a gig." So, but I just want to say huge thanks to yourself, Jeff, to Lauren, to Harry, to everybody for tuning in, to Emily, Madison, Aidan for your gorgeous songs and your wonderful company. And this has been spellbinding to say the least, and just an absolute pleasure to be here and to share some songs and to share a little bit of rhetoric too. So thank you to everybody for making this a possibility. It's a gorgeous environment.
Thank you truly for being here too. It's with I, I I'm beyond words at this point, but very grateful to co-create this energy with all of you. And Colin, thank you. Really.
Pleasure. So I think I'm going to close my set anyway on what I think is probably my most obviously sad song. But I don't know if it's sad, but it's a song called I Never Said Thanks. And the chorus is, I've jumped through most hoops, I struck out most times. You transcended your faults and you were right about mine. You taught a poor boy that love needs a why and a how. And I never said thanks, so I'm saying it now.
Wow.
And I'll play it for you. Butterscotch baby, coal fire and cream. Lose the stiff lip for once and say just what you mean. I'll admit I've jumped sides from the best and the worst, but came last in a life I spent putting you first. We had lilies in winter and roses in spring. I knew with all of my heart that you'd have done anything. And it's not like our fire didn't burn coast to coast. It's just the rain never came when we needed it most. I've jumped through most hoops and I struck out most times. You transcended your faults and you were right about mine. You taught a poor boy that love needs a why and a how. And I never said thanks, so I'm saying it now. You're a terrible dancer. You tease as we swayed, curled your nose up and laughed at all the faces I made. And I don't care to remember, but since you've asked, I must say, if that night hadn't ended, I'd have stayed forever that way. And though we've lives of our own now, there are times I recall how I'd rise with the starlings to hear you sing through the wall. And I would play for you nightly, and as you'd sail off to sleep, you'd say, I wonder if someday you'd write a song about me. Well, I've jumped through most hoops and I struck out most times. You transcended your faults and you were right about mine. You taught a poor boy that love needs a why and a how. And I never said thanks, but I'm saying it now. I never meant this to be your song, but it's your song now.
Wow. Oh my God. Wow. Huh. I was, oh my God. Thank you for sharing that and blessing us with those words and that melody and that beauty. Colm. Wow. Oh my God. Wow. I was chills. Yes. There were lots of chills and just, and tears and just beautiful energy. It's just, oh my God.
Thanks. Thanks so much, Jeff. Thanks,
Wow.
and thanks to all the gorgeous comments as well, guys. Yeah, lovely. So many beautiful words here. Thank you, guys. Really appreciate it.
Wow. Madison,
Are-
you
Yeah, can you download that somewhere? Is it like online or recorded?
Yeah. There's a version of it on SoundCloud, and there's in one of the links. I think Harry's reposting the links here. My SoundCloud is there. Colm Gavin. So yeah, thanks,
Brought me
man.
to that
Thank you.
again. So please. That was so beautiful.
Thanks so much. Thank you so much.
thanks for sharing with us. That was absolutely beautiful. I'm gonna see if the rest will hang out for a bonus fifth round if they can. You guys have the time for the fifth round? Yes, maybe. No.
I would, but my lovely girlfriend has dinner on the table and she's been kind of stalling it for the last little
Oh.
while. I really would love to, but I kind of think for her sake maybe I should tip
All
on
right.
soon.
Well, maybe if Emily and Madison are still could be here, maybe they could be your dinner music for a little bit.
Yeah, I would love that.
And Colm, thank you so much for being part of us tonight, and with much love to you and Aidan, the same, and to your family. When I first was doing this, I thought maybe your brothers would be hanging out with you and you'd alternate, but I had no idea what I was getting myself into. So it worked out quite well. Enjoy your dinner. Have a good evening over there. I hope to see you back soon, both of you. Thanks for being part of the very, very first Songwriters in the Round here at Jeff's Place.
Pleasure.
And wow.
Pleasure.
I'm going to give it to Emily. We'll do maybe one song more each because they let Aidan have start his dinner at least with some beautiful music. And all of you, you're just most amazing. I'm out of vocabulary. I have to look up some other words to use because amazing, wow, and special just has been overused here. But you guys are great. And I do not take it for granted that you could be anywhere right now and you're here. So thank you for that. I'm really grateful. So thank you. All right, Emily, I'll give it to you, and I'll say good evening to Aidan and to Colm, and thanks for being part of something
Thank you
very
so much for
special.
having us, guys.
Thank you. All
Thank
right.
you, Colm and Aidan. That was amazing. Colm, I'm like so shook by that song. So
Thanks so much, Emily. Thank you so
yeah,
much.
of course.
Delighted you liked it.
Beautiful. Thank
Yeah,
you.
it really was amazing.
Gorgeous.
All right, I'm gonna kick off the final round 5 with me and Maddie, with a song that I wrote for a class about a year ago, and it's based on a dream I had about somebody that I haven't seen in a long time, and it just kind of got me thinking about this concept and the song is called Opportunity, but it's kind of a song about missed opportunities with someone, and which honestly wasn't really the case with this person. It just kind of, got the ball rolling, and that's kind of what the song ended up being. But yeah, this is called Opportunity. It's kind of a work in progress. I mean, I haven't really sat down to work on it in a long time, but I have like a bridge section with chords, but nothing really lyrically, and maybe I won't ever add anything lyrically, but maybe I will. Who knows? Anyway, but yeah, this is called Opportunity. Thank you so much for all of you that are here and listening, and this has been so fun. I had chills so many times, and yeah, it's just been a really special day. So thanks,
you.
Jeff and Lauren and Harry, for having us, and thank you to everyone, and Aidan and Colm and Maddie. It's all been really, really fun. So cool. Thank you. I'm not one to take chances, never ready for a change to come. But I loved walking with you down by the water, and I wish that I told you that. Can I see the future in my dreams? Can you see it too? Though you're far away from me, I'd be lying if I said I didn't want to see you when I fall asleep again. The world keeps hurrying along. Opportunity came a long time ago. Never opened up my mind. I never really tried to change. Could we still see this through? I'm older now with nothing left to lose. Can you hear me calling out? I don't want to give up on you. The world keeps hurrying along. Opportunity came a long time ago. Never opened up my mind. I never really tried to change. The world keeps hurrying along. Opportunity came a long time ago. Never opened up my mind. Never really tried to change. I never really tried. Never really tried.
Yay. That was beautiful. And as Maddie was saying, there's chord progression. It's just, I love that. It's just another
Thanks.
beautiful song. And
Thank you. I know my ring, I don't know if I like wear a few rings on my left hand, which I probably should take them off when I play, because sometimes it just gets caught on a string and it makes this really surprising, really fun, loud note. So that happened in there. But anyway, besides that, thank you. Thanks again for having me be a part of this. It was really, really special. So
thank
thanks.
you, really. I'm gonna give all my final thank yous after Maddie. Maddie, thank you too. I mean, I'm in awe of everyone that's been here and what we were able to create together. It's something really special, and sometimes you may have the ingredients, but you don't know what's going to happen until after you go forward and you do it. And I would say that together we co-created some magic today, and I'm grateful for all of that. And Maddie, your bonus round song number 5.
I'm ready. And before I start, I wanted to say thank you as well. This has been really amazing. Kind of gives me the same sort of feelings as when you weren't really planning to go out, and then someone calls you up and they're like, "Hey, we're going out. We're doing this," and all of a sudden it becomes like the best night of your life or whatever. It's got the same sort of vibes. Every time I go on Jeff's place, it's like just such good feelings. I always leave feeling so positive and filled with so much happiness, and that's something that I think everyone needs a little bit more of right now. So I'm really happy to be a part of it. You guys have done a flawless job at creating such a great community here, and the fact that I got to be the guinea pig, as you put it earlier, to this, I'm holding that pretty close right now. That's so fantastic.
And by the way, the fact that we actually did this as a global venture, right? It wasn't like we were just doing this in one location. We just say, why not have our friends in Ireland? Why not do this, across the states, across Canada? Why not, right? So
exactly.
and it's just and the energy transcends. I feel Emily's songs, right? I feel Aidan. I felt Colm. I feel those words, and so through that's why I call that the magic, right? Because they're able to just transcend space, and it's really special. So thank you for being part of this very first, not last, but very first time of doing this. I'm learning as we're doing, and I thank you for that.
You're doing amazing, Jeff. Everyone's contributed to this evening or afternoon, wherever you are. It's been flawless. And thank you, Emily and Aidan and Colm. This is better than I could have imagined. So, that being said, this is my song "Exhale." Just a reminder to step back from the issues that you're facing right now, and sometimes all it takes is just taking a breath, looking at it from a different perspective, and sometimes you get answers that way.
Did something happen to inspire you to write this song, or is it like a memo to you, or just like something you just wanted to do?
I think it's a little bit of both. I wrote the first part of the song, like the verses, when I was at a really low point, and I can't even remember why it was a low point. I wrote it more than a few years ago, and I forgot about the song, and I was going through my voice memos, trying to figure out old songs and try and put new lyrics to them, and then I found this song, and I was like, oh, that was kind of cool. I should try and finish it. But I was in a lot better of a mental state at the time, so it kind of turned into a happy, more uplifted song in the chorus, just reminding people that it gets better, and the song's kind of proof of it. So
Yeah.
this is Exhale. That one note is very out of tune, and I've noticed it and have not tuned my guitar, so we're fixing that, because that's horrible. That's so much better. Okay, here we go. I'm all out of tears, can't cry no more. I'm weak and there's many fears of closed doors. They slam on freaks, I'll push to break them down, but close the gates to my mind. 'Cause I'm on the ground, I'm scared of fate, need to find. Oh, whoever you are, I'd like to know if I was placed here to live and let go. It's harder to try after you failed, but when you breathe in, remember to exhale, exhale. I'm such a wimp, I'm out of luck. Can't you see that life's gave me a limp? I need a crutch. Can you help me up off the ground so I can stand? I don't know what you have planned. Whoa, whoever you are, I'd like to know if I was placed here to live and let go. It's harder to try after you failed, but when you breathe in, remember to exhale, exhale. Oh, whoa, whoa, oh, let go, let go, let go.
live and let go. It's harder to try after you failed, but when you breathe in, remember to exhale, exhale. Oh, oh, oh.
Wow.
you
Beautiful
so much.
song. Beautiful message.
Thanks. guys.
Thank you, Madison. Thank you so much. And really, I'm grateful to everyone who's here. And whoa,
I'm so happy to be here and very happy that I got to experience this with everyone.
yeah, as I really between everyone here, it's just been a special afternoon, evening for some, and morning started in the morning over on the west coast of the U.S. And oh my goodness, wow. Well, I'd like to thank all of you for being part of the very first Songwriters in the Round hosted at Jeff's Place, and really with gratitude to both Emily and yourself, Madison, and to Aidan and to Colm, and really to really everyone who's here in the audience, participating, commenting, holding on to the positive energy, sharing the love, and especially to my sister Lauren and to Harry. I see. So you got past the appetizers, so now you can come. You look at him. There's Aidan. He's back. Lauren, did you? There you go.
Sorry, I'm back now.
Ah. So thank you, Aidan. We were just giving shout outs and thanks to everyone for creating something really special and co-creating something very special. I guess you're adjusting something. I can't tell what you're doing over there.
I think Aidan's got another song for us.
Really? I see. Really?
Maybe.
Hey, don't get my hopes up here.
Encore.
Encore. All right. Maybe we'll have an encore. Wow, that's I guess he has to plug in.
Never mind, I got it now.
You got it? All right. Maybe we'll have an encore. Unexpected, but wow. We're just waiting in anticipation. Did your storm pass, Emily? Are you still dealing with a storm?
No, it's gone now. I think it was just like that one like really big gust. It was weird. But no, I think it's gone now.
Oh, Aidan can't hear anything right now. Sorry for that. Oh well.
Let's tell him we love him.
Just text. Just put it in the chat.
I will.
Wow. You guys are great. I thank you. I am without words in a good way, and grateful to all of you for being part of something very special. Lauren, did I mention who will be here the first week of June? Did I mention that at all? So just as a sort of a reminder to all of you that if you don't ask, the answer is no. And Lauren, hopefully, I guess we can still record this, but maybe we'll edit this. We'll see. But anyway,
well, if you want to end the recording, just say so, and we'll.
All right, I think we'll end the show properly, so I could just say the next part.